Hi, Internet. I guess you're here to talk about the BFG, aren't you? I can do that. Today I read up to the chapter, The Blood Blotter. I hope I'm saying that right. So I read through Snozcumber to get to Blood Blotter. Don't worry. This will all make sense really soon. So basically where I left you off, Sophie had just been let down by the giant, and she was talking to the giant. And I told you that the giant had a very odd way of talking. You see, the giant kind of knows English, but only in a special way. It's kind of like when someone doesn't really know how to pronounce a word because they've only read said word. The giant only kind of knows English in the way that he has only kind of come across it through signs and stuff like that. Sophie is obviously worried that the giant is going to eat her. And the giant is discussing all of these different ways that different ethnicities taste to other giants. But when she screams, "Please don't eat me," the giant says, "I is not in the mood for eating you. Just because I is giant doesn't mean I eat people." And it's just kind of like, wow, Sophie, way to be a giantess. But let's move on to other chapters, shall we? There. You okay there? Alright. So, Sophie says, "Well, if you're not going to eat me, why did you snatch me up?" And the giant says, "Well, it's because you found me. You see me in streets. And I can't have human beings knowing about me." And he says beings, like, you know, you find beans in burritos rather than beings, like human beings. So it's all very kind of cute and cuddly, I guess. But then he starts discussing how other giants would want to eat, you know, Sophie. And he's discussing all of the different ways that they eat humans and all of the different ways that humans taste. And Sophie says, "Well, I kind of want to change the subject right about now." And so the giant starts telling her all about how the other giants are so much bigger than he is. And she says, "Oh, I don't believe you." And so he actually picks her up and he puts her out into the wide open space to see all of the giants sleeping in the desert. And she says, "They don't really look that big. They can't possibly be as big as you're saying." And the giant says, "That's just because they're far away. You just see them from very far away, so they appear small. But trust me, if they're close up, they're 4 times as big as I am." Hold on, I forgot my knife. And so Sophie says, "Well, I definitely don't want to be eaten." And the giant says, "Well, I'll do whatever I can not to eat you." Because I am not in the way of eating humans like my friends are. Shh. Did you hear that? I heard something. Hold on a second. I have to hide you. You stay right here. I have to hide you. People are after you. Well, giants are after you. Stay. Shh. So, he tells her about these giants and how they're eating little kids. And Sophia says, "Couldn't you stop them?" And he says, "How am I going to stop them? I'm one of them." And she says, "Well, I mean, you could do something, right?" and he doesn't get it. And so, you see, they start, coming up with plans, and she starts asking, how are you ever going to get past them? And he says, oh, I can hear when they are going to be awoken. And she says, really? And he says, yes, I have these giant ears. And she notices his ears, and they're like elephant ears on him. And he's like, they're just normal ears. You're just going to have to trust me on this. And then, she's talking to him, and he says, I am getting very, very hungry. Oh, they're gone. Hold on a second. Hi again. So, the giant and Sophie are talking a bit more, and the giant is telling Sophie about how giants don't actually have mothers and fathers, how they just kind of poof, appear out of thin air. And then she says, well, if you don't eat humans like all of the other giants that are 4 times the size of you, what do you eat? And he says, I eat Snozcumbers. And she's like, what the heck are Snozcumbers? And he pulls out this giant cucumber looking thing, but it's white and black and striped. And he's like, these are Snozcumbers. And he bites into one and starts having a conniption fit because Snozcumbers are disgusting. They just make him go blah. And it's really kind of gross. But hilarious at the same time because he lives off of this stuff. And Sophie tries some and she's like, oh, wow, that is like frog skin. That is disgusting. And I'm starting to think that, the BFG is a vegetarian. Since he doesn't eat humans and he, resides off of Snozcumbers because he believes that eating humans is wrong. And so I'm like, okay, this is fine. There's nothing wrong with being any kind of vegetarian or vegan or anything. But it's just kind of odd for a giant to be vegetarian. And then, as they are eating said Snozcumbers, it's so weird to say. So, after Sophie tries a Snozcumber, she says, why can't we go find something else to eat? And the giant says, well, because that would be stealing, and I am not in the way of snitching or snatching things from people. And Sophie says, well, you snatched me. And he says, yes, but you is little. You is tiny. I only snitch a little. And I'm starting to find holes in this story. And we will discuss more of the story and more of the holes tomorrow. So, the question that I have for you today is, have you ever tried something that you thought would be delicious, but ended up being disgusting? And I will answer that for you tomorrow. The question that I had yesterday was, when you were a child, did you ever have any disturbing dreams? And I kind of alluded to this in my Ready Player One read-through when they made E.T. references. My name is Elliot. The little boy in E.T. is named Elliot. My family decided that it would be a wonderful idea to take me to see the movie E.T. when it was first coming out. And I was thinking, at first I thought it was a great movie, whatever. And then I started having nightmares about E.T.
And the only logical reason I have for this is because E.T. is this unknown thing. Is this, you know, kind of gross looking thing. This kind of alien looking thing. And here I am, no taller than anyone's knees, and they're taking me into a deep, dark room where all you can really see is the giant alien thing on the TV screen or the movie screen. And for most kids it was like this adorable little alien. For me it was really creepy because it was this thing that I didn't know what it was. I had no idea what to do about it. And the thing was it knew my name. And it wasn't just saying it, you know, like, hey, how you doing, Elliot? How's it going? No, it was saying it like super duper creepy. It was saying it like, Elliot. And so for the rest of my life, I was kind of freaked out by that. Just a tiny little bit. Yeah. Enough about my nightmares. Tomorrow, we will be discussing more of the BFG. But don't forget, hold on, that next I will be reading the Preacher series. The entire series. All 6 volumes. So go out, rent those, read those before I ruin them for you. Okay? I've been the Purple Hair Doofus, reminding you to watch that Pajama Radius of yours. And I will see you all in more chapters of the BFG by Roald Dahl. Toodles!